Welcome to day 507 of our Deso journey, and Web3 journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein, here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in DesoFi. And DesoFi is a Web3 app built on the Deso blockchain. So, Brian, what's the latest with Bitcoin?
Yeah, so last night, Bitcoin topped $25,000. And that was the first time since I believe June that we've seen it over $25,000. This morning, though, as the US markets woke up, Bitcoin dropped a bit. First of all, altcoins have been moving the whole crypto space forward. I think the Ethereum merge update that's coming in the middle of September, that's really pushing things forward. But some of the smaller cryptos and smaller altcoins, I guess you could call them, like Shibu Inu, it is up almost 40% within just a 24-hour time span. Dogecoin is up significantly, but things are kind of settling down this morning after China reported some data that shows that their economy is not growing as rapidly as some economists had predicted. Uh, this is definitely weighing on the crypto space. Oil prices are also down, which is probably a good thing for inflation across the world. But oil prices are down because the Chinese economy is not performing as some had expected. So it's an interesting dynamic within the market because there's this push and pull where oil prices are going to curb inflation as they head down, which should help the markets, but the Chinese economy that is hurting the markets. So there's a lot going on, a lot of dynamics. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen in the short run.
Yeah, and that's the fundamentals. If you look at the technical side of things, if you look at the daily chart for Bitcoin, it's really interesting because the price has been basically bouncing between the 100-day moving average and the 7-day moving average for the last several days now. And it doesn't seem to want to break either of these moving averages, which eventually it will have to do so. Eventually they're going to come together, and we'll see. I mean, I assume they're going to come together. I mean, they don't have to, but it looks like that way right now. So I think we're going to just kind of see a tightening of the price, and I think we're just going to be seeing it trading between like 30, 23.8 and 25 for the next few days, and then at some point we're either going to break above that or below it. And I think once that happens, we'll kind of see either a further decline in Bitcoin if it breaks below, or a further jump in Bitcoin if it breaks above the 100-day moving average.
Yeah, and I think that probably in the later stages of this week, we'll probably maybe get an answer to that, maybe this coming weekend. But it should be interesting.
Yeah, so moving to the Deso blockchain, the user V, he has like the most awesome name on the entire platform and the entire blockchain. It's actually Varun Soundararjan. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. But his username is V on Deso. Posted that Deso is going to remain undervalued unless the Deso core team has a big marketing push. And to this, Dylan Jagger Lee of the core team replied and said, I think you'll be pleased with what we have planned for this year. And then Natter replied and said, we're working on putting out an updated roadmap. So I think marketing is about to jump significantly, and I think we're all going to see a roadmap in the very shortly. I think we're going to see that, and we're going to see what the plans for DSO are.
Yeah, from what I how I understand it is that they're trying to get everything together. So they want a cohesive plan that then they can push forward with marketing. Whereas back not last March, but the March before, March of 2021, when things really blew up on DSO and they got all that publicity and hype, they really weren't ready. Now they want to be ready and then market it. And I think we're going to see that, like you said, probably in the next few months, we'll see it start.
I wonder if we're going to see them kind of try and time it with a jump in the crypto markets, or if they're just going to play it by ear, and whenever they're ready, they're ready.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm guessing that they probably have a time frame in mind regardless.
Yeah, so what's Mr. Triplet up to nowadays?
Mr. Triplet, I love that guy. He's amazing. He has been onboarding people on DSO for since he's been on here for several months. But he started a new DAO and it's called the Welcome to DSO DAO. It only has a target of $100 to be raised. They've raised $18 so far. We have actually contributed to this DAO a small amount, so we're part of it. But the purpose of the DAO has a simple purpose, and it is to direct where the domain name welcome to deso.com will point. And the DAO is going to be used to promote the various apps, dApps, nodes, projects, etc., being built on the Deso blockchain. And it's going to just utilize that domain name. So as a contributor, you will get to decide where they're going to point that domain. And I'm guessing you're going to be able to decide some other things that they're going to be doing to help promote Deso. And Mr. Triplet, I know he was involved in some clubhouse events this weekend. Wanted me to join. I couldn't join. I felt really bad. Just had kids screaming all over the place. But he's doing amazing things, and I just want to show my appreciation.
Yeah, I love what Mr. Triplet's doing, and this DAO seems like it might have some potential. Of course, it's not looking to raise a ton of money. It's more like a participation DAO, but they are trying to raise $100. So if you can contribute, feel free to do so, and let's get this thing up there.
Yeah, I just want to say, I think that like these specific purpose DAOs really could be a success in kind of getting people involved in DAOs. Like this isn't a DAO that you're joining to make a lot of money or joining to become this next huge project. It's just a simple purpose of helping to promote DeSo with a welcome to DeSo.com domain name. And I think that little projects are a great way to utilize DAO for the time being, as the number of daily active users on Deso and DAO are pretty minimal.
Yeah, and this is something Darian Parrish has talked a lot about, the idea of these simple DAOs, these smaller DAOs that have one main goal. And he said he's going to be launching some of them like that as well. So I'm excited to see some of these smaller, more direct DAOs launch into the ecosystem. So moving on, Gem Story by Brutal. They have an update, and they now posts like parts of posts like reposts, likes, and diamonds are updated on the fly when you're logged into Gem Story. So if you log out and then you log in, the numbers are going to jump up for you, as opposed to on Diamond they don't actually do that. Especially if you change accounts, if you go from one account to the other, you won't know if you already liked a post. So on Gem Story you're going to know that. So it's another addition. Brutal keeps iterating upon his app, and I love what he's doing.
Absolutely. Gotta love Brutal. Probably one of the more active developers out there right now on the Deso blockchain. And he's continuing to iterate and come up with new ideas to please their user base.
And moving on, Tony Lewis of Zirkles made a post this morning, and he said that Zirkles is going to be featured in a very special place before the end of the year. No more details, but this sounds pretty exciting. I don't know if he means it can be featured on a billboard somewhere, or maybe on a well-known tech website or Web3 website. I don't know. I really have no idea, but it sounds exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
My guess is it's going to be probably a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah, exactly. So GD Virtual Gallery, we haven't really talked about him recently in the last, I guess, say week or so, but he's constantly doing so much stuff on the Deso blockchain and in the Web3 world. But GD Virtual Gallery is run by GDS, of course, released the sneak peek of their new upcoming GD Virtual Stores today. And their GD Virtual Stores are going to feature 2,600 square feet, and it's going to be divided into 3 different rooms: the lobby, the merch room, and the gallery room. And so far, from what I can see through the sneak peek, and you can too if you click on the link above this video below it on YouTube, it looks amazing.
Yeah, gotta love what he's doing, and kind of making his own waves within the metaverse space. And it all started on Deso. And there's a lot of projects that started on Deso and have expanded outside of Deso, but are still utilizing a lot of Deso's technologies. Some of them are hiring people from Deso. I know that Floor NFT has done that. Great way to kind of give back to the Deso community, but also work with them and kind of stay in touch with what's going on here at Deso.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the top most NFT, the bidders of the most NFTs. So these people bid on the most NFTs over the last 24 hours, according to NFTZ. FP Fund is number 1, followed by our friend Meta Philosopher, number 2, back up there in the hunt for the number 1 spot. After Meta Philosopher, it's Studio Richards, Vishal Gulia, George T, G Lo, Justin Time, Tier 1 Bigums, Seals Vault, and NFT Pets. And then also the top diamond day creators over the last 24 hours, thanks to our friends at Alton for supplying this list. Arapete is number one, followed by M. Her, Miami, Japan, Nagardas Hingu, NFT Duke, X Rabbit, Panini, Nordian, Happy Rabbit, and rounding out the top 10, us, Krasenstein.
Yeah, so congratulations. And today was kind of a slow news day because we're coming off a weekend, usually is. But we'll talk to you tomorrow, and hopefully we have more news then.